objective that they try to emphasize. Okay, so whenever that you read a literature, wherever that you read a journal or any other sources, you need to identify what is actually they are talking about. Okay, what they are emphasizing, what is lack in their argument. Okay, what is the objective they are trying to highlight. Okay, so you need to understand what are they are discussing before you can start to understand how to write, how to criticize, or how to synthesize. Okay, so there is a quote or there is a sayings. Okay, so what is actually literature review? Okay, by right, um, literature review is not only reviewing, is not only summarizing, is not only citing what other people have done. Okay, literature review is more than that. Okay, so if you just want to summarize, your literature review have zero value or less value compared to those who really know how to write the literature review. Okay, so what is actually the literature review? Okay, literature review happen when there is a connection, okay, between of your idea and also the researcher idea. Okay, so let's say you have the idea to conduct a study of a purchase intention. Okay, so you have so-called as a new idea. So here we don't want to see only your idea. We want to see what others people think about purchase behavior or purchase intention before you came up with your idea. Okay, from that part, how can you connect from previous idea into the current idea of yours? Okay, literature review also is the opportunity for you to know what people have done, what you can learn from other researcher, okay, what you can see from the argument between the researcher, and how can you insert your own argument with the same context. And also, literature review is something that is the context that enable you to identify the theory and also the previous research. Okay, if you have done several Google search or several information search, you can see that there is a lot of previous research that's been conducted based on your study. Okay, so you can see how they came out with different theories to identify or to justify their studies. You can see how much methodologies that have been tested to identify or to confirm the theory. Okay, you can see various perspectives from previous researcher. Okay, so that is why you need to read. Okay, so the more you read, the more you open with several ideas, or the more the wide your perspective. Okay, but if you don't read more, what happened to you is that you don't know how to organize, how to simplify, or how to synthesize your literature review. Okay, literature review, last but not least, okay, is something that support your identification of problem, where you have in your chapter 1 just now. Okay, so you need to have some people or some author or past study that support what is actually problem. Is the problem is valid or not? And also the gap. Okay, so what is very important in a research is a gap. Okay, so I say there is gap in ABC. Who says that? Okay, how can you confirm me that there is actually a gap? Okay, so the confirmation usually come from previous study, past study that has been conducted from previous scholar. Okay, and yeah, okay. The literature review therefore serve as the driving force and the jumping off point. Okay, so this is one of the important to have a clear literature review, because literature review and also theory is the part where you can clearly see where your study is heading. Okay, so by having a good literature review, or in conjunction literature review, we can see that this is actually what you are trying to express. Even though the literature review or is the support of your idea, okay, but we want to see, did you really understand what you are doing, okay, what you want to do, what you want to achieve, so everything can be portrayed in the literature review. Okay, so far, do you have any question? Anything to ask? Anything? Or we can, okay, never mind. We can open the session, Q&A session at the end of the session. Okay, let's proceed with when constructing a literature review, what you need to do or what should have. Okay, so you must remember that when you want to draft or when you want to write your literature review, you should able to clarify the relationship between that variables that you have. Okay, so you already know what you want to study, right? Okay, so by right, you're supposed to know how to state the relationship that you have or the IV, independent variable or dependent variable, in your study. Okay, and then you should also shows that what is good with your study, why we want to read your study, why you want to conduct your study, what is the differences between your study compared to other people's study. So why? So we want to see why. What is good? Why you want to conduct the study. Okay, so you need to state it, what is the unique, okay, what is the differences of your study compared to previous study. Okay, and then after that, after you have highlighted your uniqueness, you need to convince. So how to convince? Okay, convince the reader. So how can we convince the reader? Okay, by contrasting our point or arguing our point compared to past study. Okay, so katalah if let's say past study says that the result is A, B, C. So you don't agree with the A, B, C result. So you found other scholars, okay, which they says that X, Y, Z is good. Okay, so how can you capture? How can you put everything in one picture? How can you argue? Okay, so convince the reader usually come from the way that you write. Okay, the way that you explain in your literature review, how convinced you are with what you are trying to express. Okay, and then demonstrate your credibility, demonstrate your critical ability, okay, as a scholar. Okay, as I said just now, literature review is not only I copy, I paste, or I edit, or I rephrase other people's work to become my literature review, but literature review is more into I take their perspective, I try to understand, I compare with other people's study, I came up with my own argument, I try to understand how it's going to work. Okay, because most of student shortcut way, what they do is that they just take the part and they edit and then they just paste. Okay, so that is literature review. Okay, but that is just summarization, not literature review. Okay, so literature reviews should contain idea, your idea. Okay, and then here, make a session or convince the reader of their legitimacy by providing logical and also empirical support. Okay, so when you want to claim, I want to argue this, can, no problem, no issue with that. But you need to have some citation. Who says that? From which sources? Who support your outcome? Who support your idea? Right? Okay, next. So what is a good literature review? Okay, so just now we have go through what is actually literature review. Okay, so how to write literature review. Okay, what should we write in literature review? So now we want to see how can we make sure our literature review is a good literature review. Okay, same. It more than just a list of relevant literature. Okay, why we call as more is that we don't want to see, yes, of course, we want to be supported by what people have done, but what is actually your idea? So put there your idea, your argument, show to us that you are actually doing your study. You read a lot, so then you're able to show more than just list of the literature review. Okay, and then consider the range of the literature available. So by right, you can see or you can organize your literature review based on the theme. Okay, later we're going to look into it. Okay, and then critical summary. Okay, at the end of the paragraph, put some critical summary of the literature, your own idea. Give opinions, personal response, relate different writing to each other, compares, contrast, okay, and then don't take it as only face value, copy paste edit, okay, and then show awareness of the theory and also value underpin in the research. Last but not least, use particular reporting such as assert, argue, state, conclude, and content. Okay, this part also we're going to go through later. Okay, so how to start reading and writing? So what should I read? Okay, so as human, okay, so once we see academic journal with full of writings, with full of information, with full of visuals and etc., so we become lost. We don't know what to write, not to, what to read. Okay, we don't know what to read. We don't know what type of information that we should take. We don't know where to start. Okay, so where to start? Okay, where to start is that you can start by downloading all the journal. Okay, and then you can filter. Okay, a suggestion. You can filter a journal what to read and what not to read through their abstract. Okay, I believe, as I said just now, I believe that you already have some idea. So what you want to study, you already have objective. So therefore, you know what you want to study. So you may search for all the information related and relevant with your study. And then you can start to filter with the abstract. Okay, when you filter, you read the abstract, you see is it relevant? No. If no, you can keep KIV. If relevant, you can keep reading. Okay, so once you keep reading, so where can I find the information? Okay, so first of all, you need to make sure that you know the key themes and also the concept. Okay, key themes and also the concept derived from your chapter 1. What you want to study, what is your independence variable, what is the dependence variable, what is the direction of your study. You should clearly have this idea. If you don't have this idea, you don't know what to read. Okay, because of course, we are bombarded with a lot of information. Okay, so you should know where to start. Okay, so suggestion, when you already know what you want to study, okay, so you identify which is your IB, which is your DV, or probably you can start to search by searching what is your title, and then you can find similar article that been produced and you can try to read. Okay, so let's say you are unable to find a similar research that be conducted with your study. So what you need to do is that you can find a journals based on your variable. So if you have one DV, one IB, so you can find what is your IB, what is your DV's journal. Okay, so from there you can see what people have done. Okay, what people have studied about your topic. Okay, so you can see, oh, this is what they think. Okay, this is what they argue. This is what they recommend. Okay, so back to the basic. You should know what is actually what things you want to study. Okay, and then summarize existing knowledge. Okay, so after you have done your reading, you have done throughout the chapter, throughout the journals. Okay, so you summarize. Okay, summarize by your own understanding. Okay, summarize whatever, however you want to summarize is up to you. Okay, and please do not forget to do citation as well. Okay, and then during your reading, you should also look into methodologies. Okay, because when we do literature review, objective, scope of the study, the gaps, the methodology, okay, the finding, you should know all that because everything should be in there. Okay, so try to look on the methodologies as well. Okay, so what is the methodologies that they use? Who is the respondent? What is the technique that they use? Is it qualitative? Is it quantitative? Okay, try to identify all of that information. Okay, and then throughout your reading also, you need to look into gaps and limitation. Some of the journal probably you can easily find. Okay, so this is the gap because sometimes they mention the gap of this research is da 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 da, but some of it they don't mention. Okay, so you need to know what is actually gaps happen in that research. Okay, so gaps can come from many perspectives. It can come from a methodology gap, like for example, most of the research that you want to do, past research has conducted in quantitative. Okay, but you think that is good for me to do in qualitative, but you justify lah why, and needs to have support. Okay, that also can consider as a gaps. Okay, gaps in term of knowledge, what have not been explored. Okay, what have not been explored from previous study and your study. So mana nak dapat semua ni? Okay, when you do reading, you can find all the information in the recommendation of further and future study analysis. Not analysis, sorry, part. Okay, at the end of the journal, you can see that recommendation, conclusion, future study. Okay, dari situ, or limitation. Or from there, you can see all the ideas. Okay, some of the journal, they will give suggestion. So this study should be conducted with this part, should do this, should add this, should explore that. Okay, so that is where you can find what is actually have not been explored yet. Okay, and then last but not least, you need to establish a theoretical framework. Okay, so this one I believe that with another session. Okay, so you're going to learn on the theoretical framework. Okay, so here let's look into what components or what is actually things that I should write in literature review. Okay, so by right, when you have done your reading, okay, so you summarize. But what should be I summarize? What information should I write? How can I know this is important? Okay, so you should know that in one literature review, one paragraph should consist three things, which is the introduction, the body, and also the argument or the conclusion. Okay, so in the introduction part, okay, so what you need to write. Okay, we start with something broader and then we narrow down. Okay, so that is the principle. Start with something broad and then you narrow down into your specific argument. All right, so you can start with what you are going to cover in the review. Okay, so here I give example of motivation because you guys are in from various field, so then I think all of us alert about motivation, right? Okay, so example here I give of the motivation. We're going to look example later. Okay, so what are you going to cover in the review? Okay, as I said just now, you should know what you want to study, scope of your research. Okay, what is your limitation in the research that you want to study? What is the relationship that you want to look into throughout your research? Okay, let's say I want to study about the effectiveness of branding in cafe, for example. So that is my scope of study. So I narrow down, this is what I want to look into. So I don't look into other perspective. Okay, if you still look at different perspective, you're going to be haywire. So therefore, you need to know what is actually you want to study? Itu benda paling penting adalah what you want to study. Okay, and then how the review ties with your own research topic. Okay, so this is the example of how they came out with the ideas. Okay, how can you write your literature review? Okay, we start with proposing. Many theories has been proposed to explain what motivates the human behavior. Okay, so you start with identify what you want to do. Okay, came out with the basic idea or the main idea of what you want to study. So here they identify the 5 major themes as the scope of the review. Okay, so you can see here, although the literature covers a wide variety of such theories, this review will focus on 5 major themes which emerge repeatedly throughout literature review. Okay, so you should hear that you have done several study on the theories of the on the motivation. So you want to only focus on these 5 major themes. Okay, that is what I said just now. You look into something broad, then you narrow down into your idea. Okay, like for example, let's say we are talking about perceived value. Okay, so we have several perspectives of perceived value. So what you want to study, what you want to look at. Okay, so we have this, we have that. So now you narrow down. Okay, instead of several theories that has been done or has been conducted to study on perceived value, this study going to focus more into utilitarian value and hedonic value. Focus on what you want to study. Okay, so you tell what is the things or here 5 major themes that you have been identified. So it says that these themes are incorporation of self-concept into traditional theory of motivation, the influence of rewards on motivation, the increasing importance of internal forces of motivation, autonomy and self-control as sources of motivation, and narcissism as an essential component of motivation. So you already emphasize here the 5 major themes that you identify in what you have read. Okay, and then you conclude the sentence in the body. Okay, sorry, in the introduction. Although the literature review represents these themes in a variety of contexts, this paper will primarily focus on the application of application to motivation. Okay, because each of the variable that you want to study is actually very broad and also general. Okay, so you want to tell your reader that I just want only to look at one. Okay, I just want to use this variable for self-motivation. Okay, like for example, we have Maslow hierarchy theory of need. Everyone knows, right? What is Maslow hierarchy theory of needs? So we also knows that Maslow hierarchy theory of needs been used widely in many fields. Okay, so if you want to study about economic, we can use that. If you want to study about behavior, we can use that. If you want to study about job satisfaction, also you can use that. If you want to study about marketing, also you can use that. Okay, so you want to study where? What? Okay, so you need to tell what focus. What is your focus? Okay, so to conclude here, for your introduction part, okay, what you need to write is that you need to scope down into your specific idea. Okay, apa benda yang you nak study sebenarnya. Okay, so you need to make sure that, okay, this. Be very straight, be very direct. Alright? Okay, so that part is for the introduction. Okay, so now let's focus into second part. Okay, so for second part, we have the body. Okay, so what should be right in the body? Okay, so this is where you can put all together of your jigsaw information to your own analysis in the literature review. Okay, and then you can show or connect to your topic and also the question that you have in your chapter 1. Okay, and then you introduce the broad issue. Okay, and then more specific. and then you can develop an integrated argument from all the sources that you have gathered. Okay, introduction just now, we only focus into introducing what we want to do, specifies what you want to do, focus on the what you want to do. So for the body now, we want to put some argument, we want to put some juice, right? Okay, so example here. Okay, here satu lagi. Okay, linking many argument together is what makes a good literature review. Okay, so what does it mean by linking many argument together? Okay, so when you read a lot of journal, you can see that they have different perspective even on one same theory. Okay, so there is a saying that to have a good literature review, you should put or you should make sure that you can portray that this is the several arguments that has been done in literature review, not only one. Okay, it can be more than three and etc. Okay, as long as you can show that, okay, so this is what have been conducted, this is what has been argued, so I want to add my argument, or I want to argue on their argument. It's up to you. Okay, so example here. So, first of all, topic sentence outlining your main claim or key point for the paragraph. So, most early theory of motivation were concerned with needs satisfaction. Okay, so katalah you study on Maslow. So you say that, okay, Maslow, however, the aim or the objective that the researcher that use Maslow hierarchy theory of need is all about need satisfaction. Okay, so it's not about other perspective, it's all about satisfaction. Okay, and then you support where, how, I mean, you support in terms of who says that is all about satisfaction. Okay, so you cakap lah. Okay, so Robbins, Millett, 1998 argues that motivation relies on the person needs and want, and then what the Maslow and also McGregor, okay, focus on personal needs and satisfaction. You showed to the readers that when I claim Maslow is only about satisfaction. Throughout my reading, what I have read is all about need satisfaction. Marketing pun kata satisfaction, finance pun kata satisfaction, consumer behavior pun satisfaction, or anything. When they use Maslow, they only want to measure satisfaction. So you need to say, okay, this person says that, okay? You need to show that this information are derived from this author, okay? And then contrasting theories from research, okay? However, research studies outlined by Leonard Beauvais and School 1999 suggest that personality and disposition play an equal role in motivation. Okay, somehow, after I have done extensive research, I saw one or two research arguing it's not only about need satisfaction, it can also be practiced in other perspective. Okay, so you are trying to argue the first point in blue with other people opinion in green. Okay, and then you conclude. Okay, linking to the next paragraph. So current thinking does not discount this theory but build them to include a self-concept. Okay, so this is where you come into argument. Okay, your own idea. Okay, so in argument, you should include your own analysis and interpret. Okay, so what do you think after you have the idea from existing point and also the argument from some scholars? So what do you think? Okay, so this is where you need to come up with your own idea. Okay, so you start with outlining your main claim or key point for that paragraph. Okay, by its very nature, motivation requires a degree of individual satisfaction and narcissism. Okay, so the first statement of evidence from the literature. Okay, Robin says that motivation has as its basis the needs to focus on. and pleased to self. Okay, and then second statement, supported by Shaw, Shepard, and also Waugaman, who contend this narcissistic drive to base upon the human effort to find personal significance in life. Okay, so you can see here, Robin says this, supported by short. Okay, and then you came up with your own analysis. Okay, it can be argued that the desire to improve one's status is a highly motivation or motivating force and is central to the idea of narcissistic motivation. The narcissistic motivation is put forward by Scholl are concerned with motivation for life in general, but may also have application in the context of work. Okay, so Shaw says that about life. Okay, so you add, but may also have application in the context of work. Okay, and then after you give your own idea, you came up with your concluding statement. So this strategy with their focus on personal needs demonstrate in terms of the work and it to do the literature review. Reason, okay, so your reason usually reflect back on supporting your problem, or your reason to do literature review is to show the readers that I tak shock sendiri. I did this because there are some previous studies says that we need to solve this problem. The reason you do literature review is because I want to fill the gap. Did you fill the gap? Okay, if you fill the gap, okay, you should know you can write your literature review, or your literature review can be adequate. Okay, and then have you stayed with the reasonable boundaries? What did you include some of the literature review and why exclude? Okay, as I say at the beginning of our talk, identify what you want to study. Always credible. Okay, by right, we use 5 years gap. Okay, like now we are in 2024, let's say 2025. Okay, so you still can use 2019 until 2024. Okay, or 2020 up to 2025. Okay, so please make sure that your resource are credible. Okay, as I said, Wikipedia, Investopedia, or any Pedia, I don't recommend you to use that because everyone can edit. So when everyone can put their thought, means that it can be considered as not credible. Okay, so it can be like what we call that, just an idea, okay, but not credible. Okay, and then is the literature review you have selected relevant? Okay, relevant, as I said just now, make sure that it's explain what you want to study, okay, is related what you want to study. All right, okay, next point. How can you make sure that your literature review is critical enough? Okay, have you organized your material according to the issue? Okay, so usually how we write literature review is based on dependence variable and also independence variable. Okay, so you need to find the study that been conducted based on the variables that you use. Okay, and then please organize it in relevant method. Okay, so please make sure that each of the paragraph is connected. Okay, jangan don't make it sound like okay, first paragraph, I want to eat McDonald's. Second paragraph, I think I need to take a bath. Okay, so it's not connected. So please make sure that I want to eat McDonald's at this first paragraph, and second paragraph, the McDonald's can be found at da 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 da. Okay, please make sure that the write up is interconnected. Okay, is otherwise you're going to make your literature review unorganized, and also the readers don't like to read it. All right. Okay, is there a logic to the way you organize the material? Okay, does the amount of detail include on an issue relate to its importance? Okay, so this is also the question that I keep on asking myself. How many paper that I should read? Okay, so how can I know that I have read a lot? How can I know that is sufficient? How can I know that I able to write without miss another information? Okay, so this one only you can answer. How can you answer? When you found out that a research that you read, even from other authors, sounds the same. Okay, you face out, okay, this is the same. Tapi tak, dia dari author yang lain. Alright, so probably that can define that you have enough reading. Okay, and then have you been sufficiently critical of design and methodological issue? Okay, so come back to your critical evaluation on how they design on the methodology part. Okay, and then have you indicate when results were conflicting or inconclusive? Okay, so did you say anything when you read authors A says this, authors B says that? So is it you just going to be just like that, or you going to say something, or you want to summarize, or you want to come up with your own idea? Okay, so ask yourself that. Okay, as a I mean, just now I said when you want to come up with good literature review, you need to make sure that you're able to argue or came up with idea. Okay, have you indicate the relevance of each reference to your research? Okay, is it relevant? Okay, so how relevant is that? Okay, usually when I believe that each of us, we have what we call as guru. Okay, like myself, I'm from marketing. We have the marketing guru. Okay, so this is the person that we refer at most lah. Okay, like for example, let's say if you want to study about branding, we go with Keller, we go with Ecker. Okay, so we try to refer back to the main idea. Okay, I'm not sure about finance and other program, but for marketing, so we want to study about consumer behavior, we have our own guru. Okay, so you can start with their idea. Okay. All right. So that is the part for literature review. Okay. I just want to share different, as I said, for literature review, different people have different idea on how they want to write. Okay, so there is no wrong as long as you able to come out with your idea. Okay, so this is probably going to help you, which I think for me is very helpful. Okay, so what we call this is a metric table, literature review table, or whatever is that. Okay, so how it works. Okay, as you can see here, we have a different part here. Okay, we have the authors and also the years, and then we have the scope of the study. We have theory, variables, dimension, methodology, findings, discussion, recommendation. So I would like to recommend whenever that you want to start, whenever that you start reading, okay, please make sure that you able to fill all the necessary information in the separate part. Okay, so once you read a journal, you see what is the scope study, what is the theory that they use, what is the variables that they use, what is the methodology, what is finding, what is the recommendation. Okay, some, as I said previously, some of the study, all the information are easily accessed. Okay, especially for the Malaysian journal, you can see that they will emphasize or they will highlight part by part introduction, literature review, methodology, discussion. Okay, even they put some question. Okay, but some of the international paper, they're going to make it just like NIC. Okay, so you need to alert. Okay, so if you found or if you did not find, it's okay. Okay, so just write whatever that you find. Okay, so when you do this table, it's going to help you a lot in identifying what theory that they use, what methodology that they use, what is the recommendation. From the recommendation, you can see what is the gap, what they said have not been explored yet. Okay, so there is where you can see what is lack in that research. Okay, all right, as you can see here, so you can see this research is all about the self-connection brand. Okay, so you can see that, okay, so to portray ourselves with the brand, there is several theory that have been used. Okay, so what have been studied, what is the what we call that, what is the methodology that has been explored. Okay, as okay, let's say for example, okay, I want to come up with an idea. Okay, I found out that, okay, so in methodology part, all of the researcher use quantitative base. Okay, and it's more into survey, questionnaire. So let's say after I do extensive reading, I found out that nobody's done experiment. Brand and self is good if we do it in experiment. It also can be as a gap. Okay, so you already found out the gap. Okay, so you need to put like that. If you just read and then write, you unable to see what is the gap, what is the lack. Okay, but if you put in a table, you can clearly see that, okay, so these people conduct like this with this. Okay, so you can start to analyze or think what is the best idea that you can come up with. Okay, so I will pass one. I have this academic phrase bank. I think most of your advisor also have, but never mind. I will pass it. Okay, so how to, let me click first. Okay, let me show you. Okay, so as you can see here, so this is for me is very helping for those like us student, okay, to write. Okay, so in this academic phrase bank, okay, there is a lot of idea. How can you start the sentences? How can you start the paragraph? Okay, so you can see here, okay, there are some ideas. So how to establishing the importance of the topic. Okay, what words would you do? What sentences would you use? Okay, how to synopsis your literature, how to highlight a problem. Okay, you can also look it because they make it section by section. Okay, so how to write the research question or hypothesis, how to indicating significance with your study. Okay, and then we also have on literature, how to start your your general description of the literature. Okay, you can see here. Okay, a large and growing body of the literature has investigated on what. Okay, da. However, okay, so you can try to look this. Okay, after this, okay, like several study investigating what. Okay, reference, okay, a lot of things that might help you in your writing in your chapter 2, right? Okay, so this is also academic words that you can use throughout your writing, like suggest that recent studies outlined by suggest that. Okay, so when you write your literature review, not only your literature review, your what we call this your FYP. Okay, make sure that you use academic. All right. Okay. So for summary, okay, so this is a summary about what is literature review, what is not literature review. Okay, as this is all the summaries that we have discussed previously. All right. Okay, so let's proceed with our second part. Okay, theory. Okay, so when there is a literature review, there will be a theory, there will be a theoretical framework, there will going to be a hypothesis. Okay, so let's look what is actually theory. Okay, I believe that most of you know what is actually theory, right? Okay, so a theory is the set of ideas, a principle or hypothesis that explain and describe a particular phenomena or aspect of the world. Okay, so mana teori ni datang? Okay, theory came from observation, it came from a survey, it came from a research that been conducted to tested hypothesis and then came out with theory. Okay, so by right, different field have different theory, or sometimes we can use the same theory. Okay, later I'm going to show you several example of theory with different field. Okay, but as I said just now, theory is wide. Okay, so banyak je theory. Okay, so simply put, what is actually a theory? Okay, so theory is actually a direction for you to study. Okay, so you should know what is your theory. You should know what your theory tells about. You should know the hypothesis that, not the assumption that your theories make in order for you to understand or to know the direction of your study. Okay, so what is actually a theory? Okay, a theory provides a general explanation for observation made over time. Okay, again, I give you example of Maslow hierarchy theory of needs. Okay, so Maslow hierarchy theory of needs, where we have 5 levels that explain on the human needs, is one of the theory that has been observed over time. Okay, so before they came out with this theory, a set of questions has been distributed more, not to say more, in huge amount, okay, because we want to study about behavior. Okay, so and it takes a while to develop the theory because we want to understand how consumer behave, how we as a human, what we need in our life. Okay, so after for a while, so this Maslow came up with 5 basic needs. Okay, as you can, I think I have here. Okay, yeah. Okay, so he made a research or studies in 1984, okay, to study about human needs. As a human, what is our basic needs? Okay, so he came out with 5 level of needs that we need to have to fulfill our needs. Okay, which is psychological, safety, love and belonging, esteem, and also self-actualization. Okay, so this is not only observation or anything. This is what we call that apa bang ya? This is a study that has been proof many times that human needs can be classified into 5. Okay, so therefore this is that this is like one of the accurate theories that represent human needs whenever that you want to explain human needs. Okay, as I said just now, this theories is widely applicable. Okay, not only in marketing, it can be on consumer behavior, it can also be in motivation as well, finance, and also other fields, economic and etc. Okay, so because this theory is very essential or very basic, which it's explained about our needs. Okay, back here. Okay, a theory explain and predicts behavior. Okay, so like Maslow just now, they predicts the behavior. Okay, so we need to behave like this, and that. Okay, and then can be established beyond all doubt. Okay, maybe modified. What does it mean by a theory may be modified? Okay, so theories it's not easy to come up with theories. Okay, so once people come up with theories, there's going to be a lot of argument. Where this argument come from all the literature. Okay, so this paper says not like that, this paper says not like that, this paper say can be added like this. Okay, that is where theory can be modified. Okay, and then theory sometimes previously been rejected, but once they go through on several tested things, and it can be accepted. Okay, so by right, we have go through in this section, I provide a lot of example, theory example. Okay, so of course we know the very popular theory of evolution, where it says that we are come from monkey. Okay, so then the theories of evolution so been introduced and explained how women's how earth gradually developed from simple to complex organism. Okay, and then Maslow hierarchy theory of needs explain how human needs can be satisfied in 5 level. Okay, so where can you find the theory? Okay, mana nak dapat teori ni? Dari bacaan you. Okay, when you read the literature review, you can see that there is a lot of theory being proposed or used in the study. Okay, as I said just now, you should know the direction of your study. You should know what you want to study. Then you can see what theories related to your study. Okay, as we can see here, there is a lot. Okay, this is only the example from different field. Okay, so in finance, so if you want to see on the investors, okay, you can use the modern portfolio theory. Okay, and then for marketing, you can use the brand loyalty theory, Maslow. And then for mathematics, we have the game theory as well. Okay, so this is only the example. Okay, and then we have agency theory. Okay, agency theory also can be used if you want to study on franchisee. Okay, and also theory of supply and demand. Okay, comparative advantage theory and etc. Okay, all right, so I'll give you one example. Okay, so how theory works. Okay, so let's say here I want to study about how consumer make a decision to buy a product. Okay, I use this SOR theory. Okay, SOR theory stands for stimulus, organism, and also response. Okay, stimulus are from external factor. Okay, so let's say I want to know that, my objective here is that, or my objective here is that I want to know, so how consumer see, watch or anything, and how this perception or how this view can lead into them to purchase. Okay, and what is actually make them feel to purchase. Okay, so I try to explore this SOR theory, which explains that SOR theory should have a three part, which is stimulus, which come from the external factors, organism, which come from your internal factors, and also it can form your response. Okay, so example in retail. Okay, so I want to see how a store layout can make me purchase. Okay, so therefore I try to understand also our internal response, which is on the hedonic value. So how this can help in the purchasing behavior. Okay, because in SOR theory, they explains that having external and also internal, which is organism, can came out with a good response. Okay, and then we also have here a very popular among business student, okay, or management student, which is we have a theory named as SERVQUAL. Okay, SERVQUAL stand for service quality. Okay, so it being created by Parasuraman. So SERVQUAL being used to study customer satisfaction on service quality. Okay, so let's say here I found out that I have a problem with Maxis or any telecommunication company, okay, in their service. So I want to see that if this telecommunication have a problem on their service quality, how does customer feel? Did they feel satisfied or not satisfied? That is what I'm checking. So the good theory that you can use, for example, one of it is SERVQUAL. Okay, because in service quality, they already tell you that in order customer to satisfied with the business, okay, or any other product, they should have several components that covers all the service quality part, which is reliability, responsiveness, assurance, empathy, and also tangible. Okay, I can also later use this dimension to create a question to direct a customer or my respondent to answer my question based on what I want to study, right? Okay, so I think that's it. I have a conclusion for the theory. Okay, you can see here. Theory section of the literature review provide a comprehensive overview of the conceptual framework and theoretical models that guide the research on the particular topic. Okay, so theories not only explain, okay, but is also give you some direction between your variables, concept, and also construct. Okay, all right. This is the references that I use. Okay, last but not least, okay, I have I think that is all from my side. So I open for Q&A. So we have more than 30 minutes. Okay, so do you have any question? Any question? So I will end my presentation so we can communicate. All right, any question? Do you have anything to ask? If you're shy to communicate, you can just chat in the WhatsApp. You can just chat in this chat section. Okay, I give you 2 minutes to think about the question that you want to ask.
Halo Miss,
Yep,
boleh boleh dengar tak?
boleh boleh.
Boleh ya.
Ya boleh.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I'm currently doing ESG, environmental social governance, and green investment on firm performance. So contoh kalau I'm doing a theoretical framework, so should I put structure it, let's say ESG 2.1, and then green investment 2.2, and then after that I'll proceed to 3, which is the related theoretical model on firm performance. Macam tu tak? Macam tu ke?
Apa maksud you 2.1, 2.2? Apa you punya
To yeah, the structure of writing the
Oh,
theoretical framework. Yeah,
okay. Theoretical framework of I mean, by right, you are
literature
asking
review.
about literature review.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, general structure, we start with theory.
Mm,
2.1 can be a theory. Okay.
theoretic.
And then 2.2 will be your IV. Sorry, DV. Okay, DV, dependence variable. Okay, among these two, which is your dependent variable?
Dependent variable would be the firm performance,
It can
and then
be.
the independent would be the ESG and green investment.
Okay, so by right, the practice in chapter 2, general practice in chapter 2, okay, you can you can ask your academic advisor or supervisor later. General practice on the chapter 2, we will start with theories, underpinning theories, and then with the past studies, which cover your DV, and then IV. Okay, after that, you're going to have the theoretical framework, and also last but not least is hypothesis. Okay, so that is the general perspective lah.
Mm,
You can, as I said just now, you can confirm back with your advisor. Okay, but betul lah. So theory, theory, DV, and also IV.
okay,
Okay, all right.
okay,
Anything
thank
else?
you.
No problem. QR QR attendance is not a question. QR attendance nanti I bagi sekali lagi. Tadi dah ambil. Later I akan ambil sekali lagi. Any question? Okay. Anything? Ada apa lagi question? Ke you tak boleh brain? Can you share the link? Nanti I will give it to your. I will give it to the coordinator. Could you show a real example of how to search literature review? Google Scholar on Mendeley. Okay, I tak guna Mendeley. Okay, but I can show you Google Scholar. Sekejap ya. Tahu nak Google tak? Tahu nak buat Google Scholar ke? Kan nak tunjuk daripada depan. Okay, let me just share screen. Ini screennya. Share screen. Okay. Okay, I ambil management topik lah ya. Ambil marketing topik. Apa topik? Apa topik ya? Okay, ambil. Katalah, I nak cari about food and beverages. Okay, my study, let's say I want to see how, I give you one scenario. So let's say I want to see how effective branding in food and beverage service. Okay, so first of all, what you can do, how to find a journal, okay, you can just play with keywords. Okay, you can just probably start with very broad, okay, branding in food and beverage. What? Malaysia perspective? Okay, tulis je apa yang nak tulis. Okay, Malaysia, in Malaysia lah. Okay, in Malaysia, for example. Okay, and then as I said just now, try to find or custom your range, okay, which is from 2025. Let's say. Okay, so let's say understanding and promoting. Okay, so kita buka satu ya. Okay, so macam mana nak select a good paper? Not to say a good paper lah, every paper also is a good paper. How to select a paper that is good for you? Okay, so first of all, you boleh baca abstract dia. Abstract dia kena tak sekarang? Okay, kalau you rasa you malas nak baca abstract dulu, you tengok dekat sini. So, you nak buat tak pasal franchising, you nak buat tak pasal franchisor, kalau tak ada, tak payah. Okay, if you think that you want to do that, you can do it. Okay, so please read first what is the abstract, what is the good abstract. Okay, is it the abstract kena dengan apa you nak belajar, kena dengan apa you nak explore atau tak. Okay, so as I said just now, for me, apa yang paling senang adalah when I came up with the table. Okay, so first of all, you need to, let's say this is the correct journal. Okay, so try to highlight, first of all, you need to came up with nama lah, nama authors, and then what is the years that paper been published, okay? And then you start to read. Okay, so once you start to read, you try to identify, okay, what is actually they are talking about. Okay, so of course they going to start with very general perspective on what they want to study, and then they're going to narrow down. Okay, so they provide, okay, let's say lah yang tadi tu general on what is the franchise. Okay, so now they narrow down into Malaysia perspective. Okay, and then you baca lah, baca lagi, and then you try to find out, you try to find what is actually the problem that they are discussing here. Okay, because usually for the problem, scope of the study, usually they going to emphasize into the introduction part. Okay, cuba cari dekat sini. Alright, and then cari, and then you can put at you boleh letak dekat sini. Okay, siapa nama author dia? Nampak tak? Nampak kan? Okay, siapa nama author dia? Apa yang dia orang buat? Okay, so this one you can find it in introduction part. Okay, after that, baca. Okay, so you baca literature review. Okay, so this is what they have done according to what people have done. Apa kosong? Apa yang kosong? Nampak tak? Oh, kosong ke?
Kosong.
Lah. Dari tadi kosong ke?
Ya.
Lah. Saya tercakap. Sekejap Why is kosong? Okay. Share Safari. Nampak tak sekarang? Can you see the Google Scholar here? Nampak tak?
Nampak.
No. Nampak? No. Nampak. Okay. Oh, maksud you tak nampak bila I showed you the journal, is it?
Betul.
Okay. Let me figure out. Oh, I kena. Okay, I rasa I kena tukar dia punya ni. Sekejap lagi ya. Oh, dia tak boleh sekali semua share. Dia kena satu-satu share. This one ke? Bukan. Okay. Ni journal. Okay. Because I cannot share all together in one screen, so please bear that I referring the journal with the literature table that we discussed just now waktu LR tu. Okay, so macam saya cakap tadi, okay, so this is the journal kan, dah nampak kan journal ni? Okay, so the journal ni is about they want to study about global expansion, about the franchisor in Malaysia. Okay, so let's say I want to study about branding, franchise and franchisor. I boleh pakai, tapi katalah I don't want to study about franchise and franchisor, I just want to study about cafe. So I don't have to waste my time to read. Okay, macam mana nak tahu? Bacalah dekat abstract ni. Kalau you rasa you malas nak baca, first thing first, tengok dekat sini. Okay, so semua yang dia orang emphasize dekat sini penting tak untuk you? Kalau you rasa penting, you boleh baca. Kalau you rasa tak, I tak nak cover pun benda ni, tak payah baca. Otherwise, you're going to be exhausted. Okay, so as I said just now, in introduction part, usually they going to put information such as, of course, nama author dekat situ, author kat sini lah, kat atas ni. Okay, and then the scope of the study, the studies that they want to cover. Okay, why they want to cover, a problem that they want to solve, and also the objective. Okay, sometimes if you are lucky enough, you can find a journal which is they're going to highlight. So this part is introduction, this part is problem statement, this part is objective. Kalau tak, you akan dapat paper macam ni. So you kena figure out. You need to figure out what is actually they want to study. Of course, when they are talking about the study, means that they're going to emphasize that this is why we want to conduct a research. Okay, this is what the scope that we want to study. Okay, so you can find out here. Okay, and then why is it important problem? They're going to highlight here as well. Okay, and then after dah baca ni, you put dekat matrix table or literature table that I showed to you just now. Okay, supaya senang hidup you nanti. You tak payah nak buka balik journal-journal yang you dah baca ni. You can just refer back. If only you need extensive or extra information, you buka balik journal yang sama. Okay. And then in literature review, as you can see, they already emphasize on the theory. Diorang akan bagi tahu teori apa yang diorang nak pakai. Okay, so why they use that theory? Okay, so they will say, okay, so we use this theory because this theory explains on the relationship between franchise and franchisor in the global perspective, They're going to emphasize on the theory here. So you take note that this theory might be used. Okay. And then sometimes they're going to use more than one theory. Okay. But sometimes they're going to emphasize only one theory. But if you want to come up with good literature review, you can try to use 2 or more theories. Okay, but make sure these theories are interrelated and also relevant with your study. Okay, and then they emphasize here the competitive advantage. Okay, so this part you can take note, okay, on what has been discussed. So then you have some idea that people have say like this, but this is other people's perspective. Okay, so you boleh nampak lah apa yang diorang dah discuss kat sini. Okay, this part you can take it as information. Alright, and then methodology. Okay, so this is where they came up with what is the methods that they use in the study. Okay, qualitative ke, quantitative ke, okay, and then sampling method macam mana, how many respondent, how they choose this respondent, so what they are cover, because some of them, they, let's say you want to study about hipster cafe, but you going to look into generation X sahaja, so you look into what is the specific thing that they covered in the methodology. Okay, nampaklah kat sini. Okay, they use, I saw it. Okay, they use the convenience sampling. Okay, and then the unit of analysis is individual group data. So you take note all of this information. Okay, and then the data collection here is also falls under the methodology. You boleh tulis lah kat situ. Okay, so how they conduct, okay, is a qualitative and also in-depth interview, is 10 session, so you can take information. Okay, analysis, okay, so how they conduct the analysis, and then what is their finding. Okay, apa finding dorang. Okay, this is all the finding lah. So you baca all the finding, uniqueness, and then last but not least, apa yang paling penting untuk I adalah you need to know what is the discussion. Okay, so the discussion finding important, discussion important, and also some of them they will emphasize here. Ni part ni. Okay, part ni you can find what is the what you can explore more, because they going to tell you that you should explore. Nampak? Other similar study need to be done on other franchise business categories using a salient methods. Okay, so dia akan bagi idea dekat you. Okay, so after you read, you put all the information in the table. Okay, so let me show you the table pula. Okay, table ni yang kita cakap tadi ni. Okay, so bila you dah baca the whole journal, you classify siapa authors dia, and then scope of the study apa yang dia bincang, teori apa yang diorang guna, variable apa yang diorang study, okay, what is their IV, what is their DV, okay, some of them they're going to have more than IV and DV, which is they're going to have moderation, they're going to have mediator, okay, so you take note lah, okay, and then methodology, okay, methodology ni more kepada what is the methods, how to collect the data, how many respondent, okay, so finding, apa finding throughout dia study, apa finding, apa recommendation dia. So when you write the literature review, you can just refer back to this part. Okay, but make sure your part yang you ingat lah. Okay, because nanti you nak summarize balik, you need to have information from what you read. Okay, so bila you dah buat macam ni, you dah dapat dah information dekat sini. You tak payah nak buka balik journal you. Okay, you can just refer back to here. But if you have some doubt with what you write here, you boleh buka balik journal yang you buat tadi for your reference lah. Okay? Did I answer your question? Okay ke? Okay ke? Nur Hazati
Okey.
Okay. Okay. Lagi soalan? Soalan? Anything else you want to ask? Okay.
Doktor,
Ya.
untuk theoretical review ni memang jurnal kita memang kena paling 5 tahun je ke? Kalau dia dah lama kajian tu, maksudnya macam tak boleh ke yang lama-lama punya?
Bukan tak boleh, it's just like kurang reliable lah. Sebab you kena ingat, bila kita buat research, nama pun research. Okay, research adalah kita buat research lagi dan lagi. Okay, so meaning to say that kita punya data is updated. Okay, all the information is updated. Katalah you nak argue about what we call as you guys are generation Y kan? You nak argue that there are some sayings that generation Y is the sandwich generation. Katalah you nak argue benda tu, tapi statement tu dikeluarkan pada tahun 2019 2020 katalah. Now kita dah 2019. So throughout 2019 tu orang dah argue. Okay, orang dah argue for the new information or current information. So kalau you ambil information yang 2000 tu, dia macam ketinggalan lah. But if you want to use a comparison basis, itu boleh. Kalau macam katalah, okay, so you want to make a table of you nak buat tables of the definition, the evolution of the definition. So you boleh lah ambil daripada tahun 2000 orang cakap marketing macam ni, sampai sekarang marketing macam ni. So it depends on your aim, apa yang you cuba nak sampaikan kat situ. Tapi what we can suggest is that try to use a current information daripada 2019 atau latest 2018 kepada 2024. Because macam saya cakap, theories, your punya information, semuanya berubah. Kalau Maslow dulu kita ada 5 level. Kalau 4 P's like marketing, kita ada product, place, price, promotion, 4. Tapi sekarang semua tu dah berubah. So kalau macam you still pakai benda lama, so benda tu macam apa yang you nak add? What is the current information that you want to add? Because most of them already added throughout you punya time yang daripada 2000 ke 2019 tu. Okay? Cuba untuk cari. Can we use the reference like journal or article that Malay language? And then madam, saya nak tanya untuk teori part tu saya buat topik about GDP and ICT effect in electricity consumption. Boleh ke buat teori like teori 1 talk about the electricity and GDP ICT? My suggestion is that theory dia tak semestinya akan discuss 100% on your variable. Okay, so but theory is actually portraying the direction. Okay, dia akan bagi tahu in order for you untuk selesa hidup macam Maslow tadi, in order for you to selesa hidup, you kena ada 4 level of needs, 5 level of needs. Okay, so apa needs dia? Okay, it's only a direction for you. Okay, so kalau you nampak direction tu macam tu, boleh lah. Okay, kalau teori satu explain about this variable with this direction. Teori 2, this dengan different variable but with the same direction, why not? Okay, make sure that the direction of the teori tu sama. Memang itu yang diorang nak discuss. Apa lagi teori? Okay, macam theory of prospect. Okay, kalau you buat something to do with calculation like pricing ke psychology ke, theory of prospect says that people buy a product with uncertainty and also risk. Okay, so kalau you punya research make a direction to study about uncertainty and also risk, you boleh pakai itu. Make sure that the theory represent the direction of your study. Okay tak? Boleh ke? Tak ada nama 78484, okay ke? Oh, satu lagi soalan dia. Malay language. Okay, I tak boleh cakap tak boleh because some of universities they use Malay. Okay, like for example UKM, diorang pakai Malay. Okay, but what is the something yang melecehkan lah. Okay, because you nak kena tulis dalam English. Okay, so bila you baca reference Malay, bukan susah, dia macam you faham, nanti you nak tulis tu you akan jadi macam pening sikit. So tapi macam saya cakap, kalau untuk baca, okay, you nak baca in Malay language boleh, tapi you must make sure that is don't bother you lah. Dia tak menyusahkan you dan juga dia faham. You faham. I understand you faham. Just like macam make sure that you able to understand to write back macam mana. Okay? Anything else? Anything else? So far, how many paper have you read? Dah berapa banyak dah paper you baca? Anyone? Ada 100? Sama-sama. 100? 200? 50? Dah baca belum? Okay, mesti dah baca banyak kan? Okay lah, bagus. Okay, anything else? Anything else to ask? Okay, lupa nak mention. Alright, so literature review is one of the part yang AI cannot help. Okay, help in term of tolong you tulis, but help in term of cannot help in term of tolong you tulis, but it can help you in term of generating knowledge. Okay, that is why somehow bagus guna ChatGPT or any AI tools, okay, to generate knowledge, but somehow you tak boleh lari. Okay, so you kena baca. Macam mana pun you kena baca everything from the journal in order for you to write. Okay, writing literature review is very confusing, macam saya cakap. Tapi, if you try to use the table that I give it to you, mungkin dia akan tolong untuk bagi you a clear direction and make sure that everything is interrelated, interconnected. Okay, paragraph 1 ke paragraph 2, paragraph 3 should be in line. Okay, supaya orang boleh nampak apa sebenarnya tengah argue ni. Macam tu. Okay, apa lagi? Anything else to ask? Okay, you can think. I generate dulu attendance. Okay, ada soalan tak? No more further question? No more ke apa? Can you give another example how to use the table? Ada soalan. Another example. What do you mean by another example? Another journal, is it? You daripada program mana? Izzati, is it? Izzati. Another example. Apa maksud you another example? Can I know that? Boleh tak describe more? What do you mean by another example? Okay, you nak I repeat balik macam mana nak tulis? Okay, let's find another journal. Will be down. Give me some idea. Okay lah, kita buat. Let's move it. Okay, another example. Okay, pasal consumer behavior. Influencers of Instagram and YouTube on their impact on consumer behavior. Okay, and the impact of the consumer behavior. Okay, so let's see the journals first. Okay, so journal ni sama je. Okay, so first of all, okay, apa yang you kena buat. Okay, so I tak boleh nak share dua screen sekarang. So imagine, okay, so kita start dengan, okay, you just imagine that we have the table, okay, so we start with the name and also the year, okay, so namanya adalah, selalunya kita ambil nama akhir, okay, apa ni, mute square, okay, and then tahun dia 2019, okay, so you write that first, okay, now, okay, katalah paper ni memang ini yang you nak. Okay, so you agree to read this paper. So you go first at the introduction part. Okay, you baca, you cuba cari apa yang diorang nak study. Okay, kalau okay, so this is what they want to study. Okay, the aim of this study is to investigate the impact of influences from Instagram and YouTube on consumer behavior. So you boleh nampak dekat sini, apa yang diorang nak study adalah diorang nak tengok apa impact influencers terhadap consumer behavior. So what platform that they use is that Instagram and also YouTube. Okay, but their IV and DV is influences, impact of influences can be their independence variable. The DV can be consumer behavior. Tapi inilah scope dia. Okay, so this is the scope. So you copy or you summarize with your own understanding. You tulislah dekat table tadi tu. Okay, after that you baca literature review. Okay, so try to look into what is the theory that they use. Okay, so you baca, ada tak teori dia? Okay, so sometimes they make it clear, sometimes you kena baca untuk tengok. Okay. Okay, ni diorang buat pasal EWM, Influencers Marketing. Boleh tengok dekat diorang punya teori, diorang punya literature review. Okay, so how they start? They start with the overview of the Instagram and YouTube, okay, as place of influencer marketing. So, diorang ceritalah apa kajian-kajian yang telah dibuat pasal Instagram and YouTube as place. Okay, so this is all the past study that been conducted. Okay, so they story back. Okay, so apa benda yang diorang cakap. Okay, and then they emphasize into what they want to do as well. Okay, tapi dia link balik dengan benda-benda yang orang dah buat. Okay, and then after diorang dah bercerita, diorang came out with the first variables, okay, which is your IV. Okay, so diorang cakap, okay, to understand, I assume, okay, what they want to study here is that they want to study the impact of influencer. So dalam impact of influencer, what they want to see? So they want to see the EWM. WM stand for word of mouth. Bila you bercakap, macam mana dia boleh influence? Because influencer, diorang banyak bercakap. EWM is internet based lah. Okay, so they want to see about EWM, okay, the first IV, and also influencer marketing, okay, the second IV, I assume. Okay, betul lah tu. Alright, so yang ni semua adalah benda-benda yang diorang nak study. Okay, EWM katalah you punya first IV apa, first DV apa, okay, so this is all the past study that diorang dah study pasal apa yang diorang nak buat. Alright, and then in this part, as I said just now, try to find the theory. Okay, you kena baca lah. Nak kena baca, okay, nak cari teori apa tu you kena baca. Okay, so after you found out the theory, you tulis dekat kolom tu apa teori yang diorang guna, apa teori tu pasal, apa pasal tentang teori tu. You kena came out with a bit of explanation lah, otherwise nanti you macam tak tahu teori tu is for what. Okay, and then you proceed with research method, which is column number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so research methods dia orang guna apa? Okay, so they use 116 social media users. Okay, tapi dengan syarat kena ada YouTube and also Instagram. Kejap Okay, and then the research questionnaire. Okay, so dia orang bagi tahu lah all the necessary information on the research methodology. Nanti you extract keluar balik dia punya all the information. Okay, and then they tell, okay, above activity semua ni. Okay, and then result after they have done this. Okay, then you summarize on the result. Okay, so apa result dia? Okay, so result dia, diorang guna itu, diorang guna ini. So nanti you summarize, letak balik dalam table. Okay, kalau, okay, in case if you find a question, a journal like this, okay, katalah memang betul-betul topik yang you nak buat. Kalau you jumpa journal macam ni, this is actually the question that they use. Okay, so nanti bila you nak create your questionnaire, you senang, you boleh adopt sahaja. Okay, so this is the question. Alright. Kalau you jumpa journal yang ada question lah. Okay, you boleh simpan for your own sake. Okay, and then yang ni semua diorang punya question. Okay, then diorang bagi tahu lah apa diorang punya result. So nanti you tulis lah. Okay, and then conclusion and study. Okay, so dekat sini you boleh dapat apa dia punya limitation. Okay, so macam mana pun you kena baca lah. So you baca part by part and then you letaklah dalam table ni. Kena share balik. You letaklah dalam table ni. So after that, after you put everything in the table, you boleh nampak clearly. Okay, ini sebenarnya the research is all about. Okay. Mana tadi? Okay. Theoretical dengan empirical boleh guna journal yang sama ke Miss? What do you mean? Apa maksud theoretical dan empirical? General sangat soalan tu. Sama. 83886. I tak faham soalan you. Apa maksud you theoretical dengan empirical? Boleh explain tak apa maksud you? Okay, while waiting for this person to explain to me. Ada soalan lagi? Do you have any other question? Okay, apa kata nanti you cuba buat satu. You cuba baca satu journal and then you try to fill in what we call that, the table, and then think, is it helpful or not? Kalau you rasa menyenangkan hidup you, buatlah. Kalau you rasa tak senang pun, buatlah. Sebab dia akan menyenangkan macam mana pun. Mana ni? Theoretical dengan empirical ni, I tak faham maksud dia. lepas identify article and guna table methods, benda tu ke yang kena ada dalam kita punya lah. Benda tu, benda tu. Benda tu. What do you mean by benda tu? The information. Yes, all the information. Katalah kan. Mana tadi? Share balik. Okay, katalah. Okay. Ni kan kita punya table. Okay, katalah sekarang ni I want to study about a self-connection branding. Okay, so I argue, okay, I guna, okay. According to A-class and also Betterman, which study on dada, says that the theory of can is been used to identify the relationship between the variables and dimension dekat sini. Okay, this study has been conducted throughout a web-based survey 344 Okay, and then what they found in the study, ni lah dekat finding discussion dia. Okay, and then this is what we call as the introduction of the literature body tadi tu ni kat sini. Sini. Mana you nak dapat information daripada table tu lah. Okay, so you came up with very broad, okay, many theories, okay, apa orang cakap, okay, and then kalau tidak, kalau you tak buat macam tu, macam mana you nak tahu orang ni cakap macam tu, orang tu cakap macam ni, okay, so it's going to be helpful kalau you ada, okay, katalah macam kat sini kan, I nak argue, I cakap, okay, authors Mendes, to 2015 says that self-congratulatory, however, Aeschylus, says that, however, so I boleh argue, I boleh nampak clearly direction on how can I write my literature review. Sebab kalau you tak buat macam ni untuk I rasa you akan lost sebab macam mana you nak ingat semua benda information tu. Okay, so kalau you put macam ni, so it's going to help you a bit on to capture what is actually the information. Apa benda diorang cakap ni? Macam tu. Sebab dalam you punya literature review, remember, you should discuss the objective, you should discuss the theory, you should discuss apa methods yang diorang guna, you should discuss finding untuk you to understand and also argue. Okay? Alright, any other question? Mana tadi? Question tadi? Tak ada explanation dah. Theoretical and empirical. So, okay, I tak faham soalan you, tapi apa yang I boleh cakap kat sini, apa je yang you nak came out, you kena baca, okay. Untuk you dapatkan information, macam mana nak cakap theoretical dan empirical. What do you mean by theoretical and empirical? Tak faham lah, saya memang tak faham soalan you. Tapi apa yang saya bercakap untuk dapatkan satu information, yes, you can use only, not to say only one journal. One journal tu boleh dapat banyak information. Tak apalah. You pun tak nak justify. Okay, anything else? Ada lagi tak? Sebelum I share the attendance, did I have any last question? Ada last question? Ada question lagi tak? Tak ada kot. Okay, kalau tak ada, saya share dulu. Okay, so some of you have already taken the attendance and some of you have not taken the attendance. So those who have taken the attendance, so thank you very much for attending this talk. Okay, so if you have a question, you can also ask me later. Okay, mungkin you just email me ke, come to my office ke apa ke, it's up to you. Okay, so I'll thank you very much again. So you can dismiss. For those who have not taken the attendance, okay, I'll share with you the attendance and after that you can dismiss as well. Thank you very much. Mana attendance ni?
Thank you, Miss.
No problem. Sekejap ya, tak jumpa pula attendance.
Thank you, Miss.
Sama.